About rebuttals. Who knows what a rebuttal is? Yeah. Tell me what a rebuttal is. A comeback? Anybody else?
It's when they say no.
When they say no, yeah. What you say when they say no?
A rebuttal is a response you give to a customer's objection to bring them back into the closing loop.
Okay, that sounded pretty. He must have learned that training somewhere.
Rebuttal, he said it right. Rebuttal is just an objection.
That's right. Yeah. So I was thinking about it, and rebuttals is something that I learned early on in sales, right? And I'll get into the sales aspect. I know a lot of this isn't actually sales because we sign up people free. I mean, come on. You know, this is, Bob says a dog with a note could do this job, literally. You know, the note says, sign up right here. The dog's just standing there with the note, you know, and it's that easy. But yeah, so I started thinking about it because I started sales when I was really young. So I had one normal job when I was younger. I worked at a Burger King for about 2-3 days. And the reason I worked there is because I was in a program, a boot camp program, and I had graduated to the level where I could go out and get a job. So first job I ran into, I was like, I don't care what it is. I'm trying to get out of this facility, right? So I got the job and went to Burger King, and I was working there for 2 or 3 days. And somebody ended up telling me there was a telemarketing room across the street and that they was making like money, you know, good money. And so I quit the Burger King job after 2 or 3 days, and I went across the street and I got a job doing telemarketing. And it was just my thing. Like I recognized at a young age, I was probably 16 at the time, and I recognized that sales was the way to go. Early on, I realized that. Because why? Because the better you do, the more money you make, right? Commission. And although legally we don't say commission here, because technically you guys get paid per device delivered, but there still is some similarities. So I'll get into it, break it down. But so I got that job, and I did really good at that telemarketing office. I learned the script, and it was fun. It was exciting to me, you know, to call the people up. I don't even remember what we were selling, but you just had to say what the script said. And yeah, I got good at it. And before you know it, I was like the top of the chart in the office and doing really good at it. And then I ended up running into the magazine sales job not too long after that. So, and if you guys know my story, I was actually in trouble at the time, and I was on the run, and I needed to get out of the state anyway. So I found an out-of-state job, and that's how I got into the magazine business. And when I started magazines, I went out for my first day of training. And when I really think about it, the rebuttals was probably one of my favorite parts of my training. So, and I'll explain to you what I mean. So the rebuttal is what the salesperson says when the customer says an objective, right? The customer says, no, I'm not interested, or nah, too much for me, too expensive, whatever the reason is. And then the salesperson's job is to say, well, yeah, but you should because, right? And my trainer in magazines, his rebuttals were so good. They were funny. Like in the magazine business, that business has been around so long, and the script, the sales pitch is actually funny. The whole thing has just been generated to make the customer laugh and nod their head up and down. And by the end of the sales pitch, they're signing something, saying they're buying something. I mean, it's just step by step, you know, like, hey, how you doing? You know, I just came from next door. I'm doing a contest, you know. You want to help me win? And they're like, yeah. And then it's like, okay, cool. You want to ask me how I get my points? And, well, how do you get your points? And then, oh, okay, cool. And then you say a little joke, and then they laugh. And then you show them the magazine list, and you say another joke, and they laugh. And then before you know it, you just kind of lead them all the way to the end. And then you got 4 or 5 magazine subscriptions written on the receipt, and the customer signing and buying them and agreeing to pay for it, you know? And it blew my mind. I was like, this is crazy. This is work. This is hilarious. And my trainer was so personable and so good with talking to people. The rebuttals was my favorite part. So anytime the customer had a no, right? He had something funny to reply with. It didn't matter what it was. And I was like, dang, this is awesome. I just really liked it. And so thinking back, rebuttals is actually one of the coolest parts about being a salesperson. It really is. Being able to have something to respond to when people say no. Because what's a popular word in the sales business? No, right? As a matter of fact, I mean, over time, you'll recognize that some people, as soon as they find out you're selling something, no. Yeah, you guys have done it too, right? Before you even know what they're doing. If they're selling something, oh, no, I'm not interested, right? And then the people that actually get your attention and have something good that they respond with, that's the one you give the chance to, right? Think about it. When you're out shopping or whatever and you're not interested in something, hasn't there been times that somebody said the right thing and got you to go ahead and listen to what they were talking about? That's rebuttals, right? So rebuttals is actually a really important part of this job, even though we're just signing people up for the phones, and we'll get into it. But the basic idea is this with a rebuttal. Let me just teach you one thing that's going to help you in business. No matter what the no is, you have a response. That's basically the first part of the training, guys. No matter what somebody says no, you got to be able to respond with something, because that's how it goes. You say, hey, do you want to do this? And they go, nah. And then that's the end of it, unless you say something else, right? So rebuttals is a really important part of this. What you say in response to the customer's objective. Now, if we think about this particular business, even though we're not really selling stuff, we do sell tablets, right? And tablets are a big part of the job because that's how you get extra cash. And if I was you guys, I would actually think about maximizing the cost of those tablets during these times. If you think about it, it's literally almost at the end of the funding. We're waiting on more funding. But under the current circumstance, you have good reason to maximize the potential on these tablets. If and when you get a tablet sale, you could probably charge $49.99 for that tablet. And some people would probably get it from you, for sure. Why? Why? Because the ACP is coming to an end of the funding, and these tablets are worth how much? $300 or something? A couple hundred? That's another good one. Yeah. But you could sell these for high dollar if you want. Depends on how you want to do it. You might just be a cool guy and you're like, you want it to be cheaper than anyone else. Look, it's your business. You run it how you want. I'm just telling you that you could maximize the potential and get high dollar on these devices right now. Right? But with rebuttals. So basically when you're out on the field, whether you're at doors or you're out at tents or you're at an event, wherever you're set up, okay, whatever your strategy is for the day, you want to have a rebuttal no matter what. You don't want to just be out there going, hey, you want a free phone? As a matter of fact, I would never say that. And I know a lot of people do, but I didn't train you to say that. I always say, hey, I got a tablet and a phone for $20. That's what I've always said. Because we always had tablets at first, and then once we got phones, because we didn't ever have the free phones at first. Then once we got the phones, I'm like, well, I'm not going to stop selling tablets, so I just incorporated the phone with the tablet. So I got a tablet and a phone for $20. Hey, did you get your tablet yet? Did you get your tablet and phone yet? Nah, what are you doing? Oh, yeah, I got a tablet and a phone for $20, right? Boom. That's how you open the door. The worst last case scenario is the free phone, just so you know. And I know right now in the system, you guys got a little bit of a hitch with trying to get rid of tablets most of the time, but you still, how many can you sell? I mean, I've seen some of you guys get rid of quite a few in a day. Somebody help me with that information. How many can you sell? What's the most? How many people qualify in a day for a tablet? Like 2 or 3? Yeah. Well, but you know what? What you should do, though, is just maximize the potential on it and say it like that. If I could get you qualified for a tablet today it'll be 40 bucks. It'll be 20 bucks. I can get you signed up today for a tablet and a phone for only $40. It's a pretty good deal, right? And they say yeah or no, whatever, and then you rebuttal. What the whole point is, when somebody says something, no matter what the challenge is, you have to say something back, right? Oh, I'm not interested. In the magazine business, we'd be like, there ain't no interest, right? It's just straight up cost, no interest, no tax added.
You're the most interesting person I talk to all day.
There you go. There you go. You're the most interesting person I talk to all day. See, that's a rebuttal. That's a response. But the whole point is, when you're out there, you guys, some of you guys are not getting enough sales that you could because you just take no for an answer. You understand what I'm saying? You take no for an answer and you don't challenge the situation. Because a rebuttal is also talking someone into doing what they need to do to get qualified, right? Because sometimes somebody will say, oh yeah, I ain't got time right now, right? I got a rebuttal for that. Well, where are you headed, sir? I'm on the way. Look, I'm about to go to work. Okay, cool. What do you do for work? I do this and that. How much you about to make? They're going to pay me $40 for the next couple hours. Okay, cool. I don't know if you know or not, but this is like an $800 package right here. You know what I'm saying? Like when you bundle everything together, the internet service for a year, the phone, the tablet, everything added up, it's almost $1,000. He got me. So you understand what I'm saying? It's almost $1,000. I've literally convinced people to go ahead and take time and not get on a bus because I explained to them the value of the product that we're selling. Do you understand the difference? I ain't got time right now. I'm not taking that no for an answer. Hey, did you get one? No, I'm not interested. Yeah, there's no interest. Did you get one? No. You know, like, it don't matter what they say. Like, you should have something in response to say. You don't just take no for an answer. Yo. Here we go. Look. So no matter what the customer says, you say something in response every single time. Don't take no for an answer. It's a battle, y'all. Listen, it's the last person that gets the smartest thing to say wins. It's almost what it's like. They say something, you say something. Whoever gets the last word won, right? So never stop saying something. Always rebuttal. Yeah, I ain't got my documents. Well, where do you live at? I live there. You can't get somebody to bring them to you? Ain't nobody at the house right now? You got a girlfriend? You got a friend? You can't get them to bring it to you? You got to go to the DES to get your paperwork. Hey, you can't run over there real quick and do it? It's rebuttals. It's having something to say and putting pressure and urgency on the situation. That's another one. I know for sure that it's at least a 25% increase on your day if you rebuttal people. Because if you just stand out there and go, hey, this is what I got, do you want it or not? You're only going to get people that say yes the first time. A lot of people are going to challenge you. A lot of people are going to give you excuses. A lot of people are going to say, I don't have time, right? I don't have money, right? It's not for me. Yes, it is for you. You gotta have something to say back. Let's go through it. Some people say it's not for me. I'll call on you in a second. Some people say, I won't qualify for that, right? And do you challenge them back when they say that? That's the question. Because I think some of you guys probably just be like, oh, okay. Listen, I'm telling you, but you got to challenge them back. You got to be like, what do you mean it's not for you? Oh, yeah, I make too much money. Well, what's too much money? I make good money. Okay, well, what's good money? I make like $1,000 a week. Okay, cool. You got any kids? Yeah, I do. I got like 2 kids. I might be able to get you qualified. For real? Yeah, but I'm not interested. I don't even want a phone. I got my own phone. I got a brand new iPhone. Well, you ain't got no friends? Nobody you like? Yeah. You don't like to help people? Nah, I like to help people. Why don't you hook somebody else up with a gift? You can't think of nobody you could hook up with a phone that has service on it? You got to keep saying so. I say all that stuff every single time. Every time they got something to say, I got something to say back. That's what rebuttal is. It's not taking no for an answer. No matter, literally, challenge yourself to do this. Anytime somebody tells you no, say something back to challenge them. Practice it. Learn how to get funnier and more creative with the things you say. That's how you get better at stuff like this. And that's how you have more fun out on territory. Your job is so much funner when you get innovative and actually challenge the conversations and talk people into stuff and give them solutions. Don't you know that a lot of the customers you guys deal with, they're used to accepting no for an answer in life. They're used to being defeated. They're used to being told they can't qualify for something. You understand? They're used to not doing something for themselves if it requires any effort at all. Listen to what I'm saying. A lot of customers you guys deal with are used to not doing something if it requires effort. Right? How many times do you run into somebody and all they need to do is go get the paperwork? It's like 2 blocks away and they don't want to do it. But if you're good enough with your rebuttals and you actually talk them into it, that's good for them. Not only are you doing a better job, but you're also benefiting them. That's how I look at it, right? If you can talk anybody into doing something positive for themselves, that's positive, right? That's really being a difference maker, right? It's one thing if you just sign up whoever easily says yes, but it's another thing if you actually get engaged in conversation with your customers and lean them towards good decisions, right? Because don't you know that while you're in the midst of having a conversation about getting them to go do what they need to do to get a phone, you might learn something about the individual and be able to lean them towards going to rehab or something. You might be able to lean them towards getting up off the street or making the next right decision in their life. That's how if you engage in conversation, and you know what else that will do? That will make you more popular as a business person. When people see that you're making an impact and you're making a change in the environments that you go to, they'll refer you to other places. You understand what I'm saying? When you're the type of person that's resourceful and figures things out, listen, when you're the type of person that figures things out and makes stuff happen, you're going to be more popular as a business person. If you go somewhere, your job, look, this is the attitude you need to have. When you show up somewhere, you need to show up prepared to be the best person that could possibly be there doing this job. That's the mindset. You show up and you show up there thinking in your mind, and you even tell people, oh, ma'am or sir, you're glad you got me. Because listen, if there's a way to get these people qualified, I'm going to get them qualified. Right? I don't know what happens at these other tents. I don't know what happens with some of the other reps you dealt with in the past. But if there's a way for me to get you qualified, I'm going to get you qualified. You understand what I'm saying? And then, but how can you be that kind of person unless you have good rebuttals and you actually engage with the customers and you ask the right questions? That's part of your rebuttals. Part of your rebuttals is questions. You know that? Sometimes when somebody gives you an objective, you need to be creative and think of the next awesome question to ask. Because the questions you ask are what's going to lead you and them towards an approval. What kind of questions? Well, how much money do you make? Do you have a job? Right? Don't you know that you could get people approved under income with a W-2 or a 1099? Did you guys know that? You could get people approved for this with a 1099 or a W-2. Do you know how many times I've had people reach in their wallet and pull out a folded up 1099, or they find one in their glove box in their car, and like, I take a picture of that bad boy, approval. You got to ask the right questions though. Sometimes they'll have documents in their glove box, but you wouldn't know if you don't press and ask the right questions. You got to keep asking the right questions. Rebuttal every single time. Get more creative. If it seems like it's a hard task, figure out how they can accomplish it. If they don't do what you suggest them to do, what did you have to lose by at least asking? Right? And here's another thing. While you're rebuttaling, you also could be getting referrals. You also could be asking people to ask people to come sign up with you. You know what I say? Hey, everybody at the tent, can you do me a favor? Can everybody call everybody you know and tell them to call everybody they know and let them know that I'm out here with phones and tablets? Listen, can everybody tell everybody they know to tell everybody they know that I'm out here with phones and tablets? Do you know that even if you showed up somewhere, if you could get one person to call two people, you just doubled up? You could, if you look, you could be on a street with no traffic and you get one customer. That's all you need if you're good enough at communication and getting people to get on their job. Because what do? Hey, do you know somebody that might be interested in this? Oh, you do? Could you give them a call? Right? They say, yeah. 2 or 3 minutes goes by and you notice they're not calling them. You got to speak up. You got to say something. You got to be like, hey, could you go ahead and give your friend a call? The friend you said you could call, could you call him real quick? Oh, you want me to call him right now? Yeah, give him a call. Yeah, I'm usually not in the same spot all the time. Yeah, the ACP program, the funding's running out right now. I'm trying to get everybody signed up that I possibly can. I'm trying to get everybody a phone and tablet that I can. Look, do you know anybody else? Do you? Look, what else do you got to lose? You're sitting there waiting on documents to be approved or looking at the little things spin on the screen. Like, why waste time? Why not be creative and think about how to communicate better and get more results, right? Ask the right questions. How much money you make, right? Oh, you make that much? You could be looking them up on your calculator for the ACA. You might be able to get them approved on the medical. You got to ask the right questions. Constantly rebuttal. Always have something to say back. No matter what somebody says, have something smart to reply with. That's how you get really good at this. If you go door to door and you knock on the first door, you should have a bunch of questions for that person. Like, hey, do you know any of the other neighbors? Do you know anybody else that might want one? Oh, she might want one over there. This is how they're going to tell you. They're going to be like, yeah, that girl, which one? Oh, not that door, that door. Okay, cool. Look, while I'm signing her up, I'm going to be like, hey, I'm going to run over there and knock on the door real quick. See how I got to get your friend to come out. Okay, cool. Boom. Run over there across the thing. Knock on the other door too. Now you got one customer that you're running. You got 2 doors open right there in the apartment complex. You got 2 doors open. You start signing up the second person. You see a person walking by on the sidewalk. Hey, did you get yours yet? Did I get my what? Your phone and tablet. All the neighbors are getting theirs. Did you get yours? Nah. Okay, cool. You got access, right? Medicaid, you got food stamps? Yeah, okay, cool. Let me sign you up real quick. Now you're running that person. You got 3 in the queue now. You see another person walking by. Hey, excuse me. On it. That's how you come up. That's how you really maximize the potential of your opportunity. Because otherwise, you're just going through, you're wasting too much time just putting in one person at a time. I've seen people driving from one person to another. I'm like, you're doing this wrong, bro. You can't drive from one customer to another. Somebody calls you and you're going to drive all the way across town to see this person? Nah, that's not how you do this. If somebody calls you, you say, hey, I need you to do me a favor. Do you know anybody else over in your area that might want a phone or a tablet? Oh, you do? Okay, cool. Get 3, 4, 5 people together and then I'm going to come over there. I'll give you till 2 o'clock. You think you could get them at your apartment by 2 o'clock? You see what I'm saying? You got to have the right thing to say. That's what it's all about. Anytime you're in a situation, you got to be creative and think of the way to maximize the potential on the situation. And no matter what somebody says, rebuttal. It don't matter what they say. You don't even have to think of the smartest thing. Say something. Because you know what happens in conversation? If I say something, right? If I'm trying to talk you into something and you give me an excuse, right? If I don't say nothing back, that's the end of it. Right or wrong? That you just won because you told me no. But if I say anything back, the conversation continues. Right? Right or wrong?
You don't like free?
Listen to what I'm saying. Think about it. If you say no and I say okay, that's a wrap. But if you say no and I say anything back, now what's happening? you got to respond again. So no matter how many times you tell me no, I could just keep replying and this conversation could go on forever. Because somebody's trying to win. Somebody's trying to win, right? I'm telling you, you should see me at work with this because I have somebody turning around after they're all the way down the street. I've had ladies walking down the street and I'm like, she's like saying stuff back to me and she's running to find me. I'm like, are you sure though? You want in together, man? And then she's like, okay, fine. I'll come back over there and sign up. Boom. Because I didn't stop saying stuff. I know rebuttals. I know that if I just keep challenging you, if I just keep thinking of another reason why you should do it, that's what a rebuttal is. You're thinking of another reason the person should do it. They're thinking of another reason they shouldn't do it. Do you understand? Listen to how creativity plays a part in this. One person is thinking of the next reason they shouldn't, and you're thinking of the next reason they should. Who's going to win? That's what it comes down to. Who's going to think of the smartest reason? They're either going to think of the smartest reason they shouldn't, or you're going to think of the smartest reason they should. And somebody's going to win that conversation. Good salespeople are the ones that have the best rebuttals.
That's right. Come on.
Good salespeople are the ones that have the best rebuttals. Because when it comes down to it, people that are not that good at sales, they don't got nothing to say back. That's why they're not that good at it. People that are really good at sales always think of the next bright thing to say back. And you can get good at it. You could actually be really positive and uplift people. You know, if you just have a positive attitude and be respectful towards your customers and just carry a positive atmosphere at your tent or at the doors, that goes a long way. But along with that, you want to say the right things and ask the right questions. Listen, if you can't think of the right thing to say, then think of the right thing to ask. Don't stop engaging with the conversation. Because as soon as they say no and you shut up, it's a wrap. As long as you keep talking, there's hope. That's what I need you to understand. As long as you keep talking and they keep responding, it's not a no yet. It's only a no when you stop. That's how sales works. It's only a no when you just stop. They said something smart enough to get you to stop asking. That's what it comes down to, right or wrong. Every single sales conversation. You know how it is on the other end, right? When somebody's trying to sell you something. You know what it feels like. You're trying to think of the thing to say to where they just won't ask again. Right? And the ones that get you are the ones that don't go for that. You say something, they always got something to say. They're like, yeah, but don't, that ain't a good enough reason. Check this out. And before long, you're signing paperwork and buying that product because they got you. But did they get you or did they just think of the next right thing to say? Most of the time, they just had a good rebuttal. They just had the positive, good response. They asked the right questions, right? You got to ask the right questions. You got to have good responses. You got to be positive. You got to have faith. You got to believe that you're going to get a yes. You understand what I'm saying? When you're out there, you got to believe, you got to have confidence and assume the sale and believe that they're going to say yes. Right? When I get out and I go door to door, guess what? I know they're going to get them from me. I know they are. I don't know what I'm going to have to say, but I'm going to say something legitimate and it's going to get the person to sign up. That's confidence. But how do I get that confident? By practicing rebuttals over and over again. I've had enough circumstances where I talk somebody into saying yes that I know I will. And so where does that come from? Practice, where you just practice it. You get so good at it, but you're not going to get good at it if you don't practice. You have to practice. Don't just stay the same, doing the same thing you're doing. If it's working, great. You could still make it better. You could still think of a way to get better. You might, look, if you practice what I'm talking about, you're going to get more sales. Why? Because the whole challenge is talking more people into getting qualified. So you got to be good at getting them qualified, but you also got to be good at giving them good rebuttals to engage with you long enough to get them qualified. Right? If you're not, look, if you know what you're doing and you know how to sign the people up, great. But what about the ones that tell you no? You know you can qualify them, but they got you by telling you they ain't got time. And you're like, okay. Think about it. If you just talk them into it, you got to put value on the situation. Like, ma'am or sir, look, this is the deal. I don't know if you know or not, but this is a $300 tablet. It's worth skipping that $5 bus ride to get this tablet. Look, I'm on the way here. Look, you ain't never been late before? You could be late. Get this tablet. This is a big deal. It's like $800 worth of stuff. If you get a year worth of service, right, and you get a tablet and a phone, how much is that? A lot. That's a chunk of money. But you got to put value on the situation. Don't let people tell you no. That's the point. Every time somebody tells you no, say something back. Say something. It doesn't have to be the smartest thing. Just say something. Then they have to say something else. Do you know that if you do that long enough, sometimes people just give up and say yes? Do you know that? You guys know how it is. I've got before like that. The dude just won't stop asking. Finally, I'm like, I just don't want to argue anymore. Okay, yes. Right? Yeah, you want to be that guy or be that girl if you're in sales. You want to be the person that does not take no for an answer. The bottom line is you have a good product at a great price and it's positive for the person, so you're doing them a justice by talking them into it. Even if they don't need it, they can at least give it to somebody as a gift or something. If you're used to getting 10 sales, you could probably get 15 if you'd stop letting people tell you no. If you're used to getting 20, you'd probably get 30 if you just go the extra mile and think of creative ways to get more people to go ahead and get qualified and say yes. Have some motivation and have some interest in talking them into it. You understand what I'm saying? People like that. When people see you like really into talking them into something, they're more likely to engage with you, right? They're more likely to believe that it's a good product for them when they see that you believe it is. When they see that you believe that it's a good thing for them, they're going to be more likely to believe it. But when they're like, yeah, I don't need it, and you're like, yeah, you probably don't. You know, that ain't going to get very many sales. But when they tell you something and you say something back, that's how you win. Everybody say it. That's how you win.
That's how you win.
You got to have something to say back. You can't just take no for an answer. And if you want to be in sales long term, you should get good at it. Why not get good at communication? Listen, you're already out there for 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours, however long you're out there on territory. Why not actually practice and get good at communicating better with people? What is that? Practicing rebuttals. Practicing rebuttals. It basically works just like this. You just say something back over and over. And then you get upset with yourself when you couldn't think of anything to say. And then you try again harder next time. But you don't let anybody tell you no. You don't let anybody tell you no. And you don't give up until you've tried everything to get the sale to go through. And that doesn't mean you waste time. You got to learn how to hustle and gauge your products. If you're taking too long with one customer, you're going to be losing other customers. So you got to play it right. Do you know that you can put one person in position, the waiting position, while you start signing up more people? Look, you could have one person, look, it's been a little bit too long, and you know it has. Hey, ma'am, I'm going to keep working on this for you. Go ahead and have a seat for me over there. Let me get a couple more names in really quick because these people have been waiting, and then I'll get back to helping you out, okay? Yeah, but I ain't really got time. I know. No, but listen, I'm going to help you. Just have a seat. Engage. Talk them into it, right? No, I ain't got time. Yes, you do. Just to give me a couple more minutes. You've been here 45 minutes already. Give me 10 more minutes. You see what I'm saying? When you actually talk them into stuff, you're going to get more business. Because people will try to get away from you. They're going to be like, oh, I thought I could just pull up and get this and get out of here. Most of the time you can. But sometimes they require documents. Sometimes there's glitches in the system. Sometimes the ID might have something messed up on it, or you got to type something in a certain way. Whatever the case, I'm going to figure it out, probably, ma'am, but you just got to give me a little bit more time. So have a seat right there. Give me just a couple more minutes. Let me get these two people in real quick, and then I'll come back to you, okay? Okay, cool. I guess you talk them into it, right? Or sometimes people want to take off. I try to make them stay. I try to make them stay before I let them leave. But if you got to let them leave, talk them into coming back. Be like, hey, where are you going? You're going inside that store right there? Okay, cool. Let me get the rest of your information really quick. I'm going to go ahead and see if I can get you qualified. I should be able to be right at the part of giving you your phone by the time you get back. All you'll have to do is come back and tell me you're ready, and then I can issue you your phone. Talk them into it. You understand what I'm saying? Talk them into it. Make sure, don't just not say stuff. If you think of something, just like it's important when people walk by to get their attention. Don't let people walk by you without getting their attention. That's one of my biggest pet peeves when I see people sitting at a tent and customers are walking by and you ain't saying nothing. You got to get their attention. That's money right there. They're walking by. Like you're wanting to get more sales. They're walking by you. Your extra sales that you're not getting every day are just a little bit away from you in a parking lot and you didn't say nothing. All you got to do is say, excuse me, sir. Excuse me, ma'am. Did you get your phone and tablet yet? Did you get your tablet and phone yet? Yell loud. Do you know how many times I yell and people will be like, I heard you from way over there. Like, I know. That's why I'm yelling. So everybody will hear me. I want to make sure that I get as many people signed up for this as possible. So I talk really loud. Listen, when you're talking to a customer, talk loud. Why? So other people hear you. You're not trying to be on the down low. You're trying to get other people to sign up too. Do you know how many times if you're talking to a customer assertively and you're using a really strong, high voice, someone else will hear you and come to your tent? Yeah. Right or wrong? Right. But if you're whispering, they're not going to hear you. They don't even know what you're doing. And another thing, while we're talking about it, is be professional and have your tent up. Do you know how important it is to have your tent set up with a sign on every side of your tent? Do you know that? Why is that? Because cars are coming from this way. Cars are coming from this way. Cars are coming from this way. And people don't know what you're doing. Sometimes if you get your tent popping good enough, people will pull over to find out what you're doing. But not everybody. Most people want to get an idea of what you're doing before they pull over. So if you got signs up on each side of your tent, you're going to get more people to pull over. I know that it's easier to be lazy and just put one sign up and it's cheaper, but is it cheaper? Because by only putting one sign up, you're not getting as much business. It would make more sense to spend $40 more on another sign and get a bunch more customers. In a week, I bet you get a bunch more customers just by having an extra sign up, right? And then you want to set your tent up professionally. You want to make sure everything looks really nice. Have clipboards. Have on a lanyard. If we don't have badges, we're working on that if you don't have one. But dress up. Put on a collared shirt. Look professional. Have everything organized. Listen, have enough chairs. Why do you want a bunch of chairs? Because you know a bunch of people are going to be at your tent. That's why. Why would you want a bunch of chairs? Because you're going to have a bunch of people there. And don't you know that when a bunch of people are at a tent, a bunch more people will probably show up? Because a bunch of people looks like there's action. If you're driving down the street and you see a crowd of people lined up at something, doesn't it look interesting? You're like, what the heck is going on right there in that Fry's parking lot? I ain't never seen that many people looking all excited. What the heck is going on at that tent? Let me pull over and see what's going on. Right? You could be out there with a bullhorn. Come get your phone. Come get your tablet. Free services. Come sign up. Get enthusiastic. Get people's attention. Right? Be loud. Don't stop talking. The more you talk and the more you explain and the more questions you ask, the more business you're going to get. It's like gaining momentum. You're talking really loud. You're not stopping talking. That's increasing the chances of getting more customers. Listen, if by talking to one customer, it increases the chances of another customer hearing you, then don't you think if you're talking to customers all day long, it's going to increase it even more? Yeah. Think about it. If you're talking really loud to one customer in a parking lot, right? In that moment, another customer hears you and comes up. Don't you think you should do that all day? Think about it. If you're out there for 8 hours, why not maximize the potential and just get people's attention and be lit all day? Like, hey, excuse me. Hey, sir. Hey, ma'am. Hey, got phone in one hand, tablet in another. Look, with some enthusiasm. Like this. I stand out there on the corner. Come get your phone. Come get your tablet. Look, I'll be like this on the corner with the phone and tablet. If their window's down, I'm like this. And then I'm trying to talk to them. Look, I'm like. They're like, what? They roll the window down. It's a wrap. Pull over, pull over, pull over. I'm getting them in, bro. Look, they're pulling in the parking lot. Look, all it takes is a couple minutes. You stand out there on the corner. You look enthusiastic. Get excited for a minute. People are like, what's he doing? Yeah, it's phones and tablets. Did you get yours yet? Nah, pull over, pull over. And you get 3, 4, 5 people pulled over at your tent. Now you got your tent popping. Think about it. But if you're just sitting there, all boring, nobody wants to pull up and talk to you. You know what I'm saying? Think about it. Think about the difference of somebody standing there with a bunch of enthusiasm, all excited, like ready to get someone's attention, saying all the right things, asking all the right questions. Who do you think's going to win by the end of the day? Versus somebody's just sitting there. They got one sign, pull up, sign up. It's like hanging all crooked. You know, one chair's broke. You know, got some tweakers there getting high at the tent. Like, what you think? Who's going to have the best results? Or you think the person that their stuff is all organized, looking professional, enthusiastic, dressed professional, asking the right questions, yelling really loud with motivation, right? Got all the signs up on all sides of the tent, a bunch of chairs there. People, it's psychological, right? People see a bunch of chairs, they think more people. You understand what I'm saying? Even if somebody sees you setting up a bunch of chairs, they're going to think, oh, whatever they're setting up for must bring a lot of people. Why would they be setting up a bunch of chairs? You could be setting up early in the morning. Somebody sees you putting a bunch of chairs around a table. They're going to be like, what's about to happen here? Right? But you got one chair there. It don't look like nothing exciting is about to happen. Right? What are you going to do, a consultation? You know what I'm saying? You about to sit down and like talk, do therapy or something? You got one person there, like, how's your life going, bud? I'm saying, what you got to think about how it looks. If you put a bunch of chairs there, it makes it look like there's a bunch of people coming. Right? You got to think, and you got to rebuttal people. Every time you say something to somebody, no matter what they say, you say something back. Try that. I'm telling you right now, try that. It's going to make you boss up at this job.